You've seen him, the one who dazzles a room, not with status or power, but with ideas. He doesn't walk, he floats, glides through life as if gravity were a suggestion. He speaks in futures, of things he'll do, of masterpieces that are almost ready, of journeys that are just about to begin. You listen, captivated. There's a childlike wonder in him, a sparkle that makes you think he was born for something great. But days pass, weeks, months, and the promise fades. The project, still in development. The relationship, ended without much explanation. He's on to something new, always something new. If you've ever loved someone like this, you know the pain, the helpless hope that this time he'll follow through. The slow erosion of trust as you watch brilliance rot under the weight of delay. But here's the part no one talks about. Maybe that man is you. Carl Jung had a name for this psychic pattern. Puer Aeternus, the eternal boy. Not a literal child, but a man frozen in psychological adolescence. A man who refuses to anchor himself in the here and now, who trades effort for fantasy, who chases light and fears heat. He is not lazy. He is not stupid. In fact, he's often brilliant. But he is paralyzed by a dream of perfection so vivid, reality always disappoints. You see it in his eyes, the tension between hope and fear, the spark of a soul waiting to be born, trapped behind the fear of beginning. Because to begin is to risk. To choose is to exclude. To commit is to confront the terrifying truth. It might not work out. So he avoids. He dreams instead. He convinces himself and others that he's in progress, when in truth, he's stalled, suspended, unwilling to come down from the clouds. And here's the tragedy. The world rewards his charm, his spark, his promise. He is adored, until he isn't. Until the pattern becomes clear. Until people realize his magic never materializes. Until trust is replaced with disappointment. But he has his defense ready. It's not my fault. It wasn't the right time. No one really understands me. And maybe that's true. For a while. Until the same excuses wear thin. And the people who once cheered start to walk away. This isn't just a story of failure. This is a story of flight. A flight from the weight of being human. From responsibility. From limitation. From the truth that greatness, real greatness, is not just made of ideas. It's made of follow-through, sacrifice, grit. So what happens to the eternal boy when time doesn't wait anymore? When the world knocks on the door and asks, "Are you ready to show up?" He either steps forward or he hides. And if he hides, he doesn't just betray the world. He betrays himself. Because under all the excuses, all the charm, there is a deeper truth. He knows. He knows he's wasting time. He knows he's drifting. He knows that if he doesn't act, his life will become a graveyard of unlived potential. This is not an attack. This is an invitation to look, to feel, to confront. If you've seen yourself in these words, do not run. Do not explain it away. Do not escape into one more dream. Because the journey of the eternal boy only changes when he stops running. In the next chapter, we'll peel back the curtain on the illusion of freedom and the truth of what the Puer Aeternus fears most: reality. Freedom. It's the word the eternal boy holds like a shield. He doesn't want a 9 to 5. He doesn't want to be boxed in by marriage mortgages, or mundane routines. He talks of traveling the world, starting something big, living authentically. And on the surface, it's beautiful. Who wouldn't want to be free? To escape the rat race, the pressure, the grind. But beneath the poetry, beneath the rebellion, there's a secret he can't quite admit. He's not free. He's running. He calls it liberation, but really it's an escape route from what he fears most. Responsibility, structure, limits. To him, commitment feels like a cage. He flinches at expectations, avoids deadlines, quits when things get hard. But here's the paradox. He dreams big. He wants to build something lasting. He wants love, legacy, purpose. And yet, he refuses the very things that make those dreams possible. Freedom without direction is chaos. Without roots, the tree doesn't grow. Without commitment, nothing real takes shape. But to commit means to choose. To say yes to one thing is to say no to 1,000 others. And the eternal boy can't bear that. He clings to possibility, to what could be, to the comfort of the undefined. Because as long as he hasn't chosen, he hasn't failed. Jung said the Puer Aeternus suffers from a disconnection with time. He lives in the future, always on the verge, always preparing, but never arriving. Ask him what he's working on, he'll tell you. It's coming. It's in progress. I'm waiting for the right moment. But the truth, the moment never comes, because no moment will ever feel safe enough, or perfect enough, or painless enough. And so he stays in motion, like a balloon caught in the wind, drifting from place to place, job to job, partner to partner, never quite touching down. But here's the cost. That freedom he worships, it becomes a prison. Because to live without limits is also to live without roots, without growth, without progress. Freedom without commitment becomes emptiness. The dream of the open road becomes the nightmare of never arriving. He says he wants space, but space without direction becomes isolation. He says he wants time, but time without purpose becomes regret. He's not running towards something. He's running away, away from failure, from judgment, from the pain of not being enough. But the irony? That pain finds him anyway, in the quiet moments, in the loneliness, in the constant whisper that says, "You should be more by now." This chapter isn't about blame, it's about truth. Because until the eternal boy confronts this illusion, he'll spend his life building castles in the sky and wondering why nothing holds. True freedom is not the absence of limits. It's the strength to choose them. To say, "This is my path. I accept the weight of it." Because only when he picks up that weight does he begin to grow. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper into what happens when that weight is refused. How the Puer Aeternus begins to sabotage everything he touches, and why charm eventually turns to destruction. If this message resonates with you, hit the subscribe button and join the channel. Thank you for being here. It always begins the same way. He walks into your life like a gust of wind, vibrant, curious, poetic. He listens like no one else. He dreams out loud. He touches parts of you that felt long forgotten. With him, you don't just feel seen, you feel chosen. And so you open your heart. You believe. You follow him into the bright possibility of what could be. But then, he disappears. Not completely, not all at once, but slowly. Texts go unanswered. plans get canceled. The spark dims. And when you ask why, he tells you softly, "I'm just going through something. I need space. It's not you, it's me." You want to understand. You try to help. You think, if I love him enough, he'll find his way. But here's what's really happening. You are meeting the shadow of the Puer Aeternus, because beneath the charm and the dreams, there is something darker, something that cannot bear the weight of love, of reality, of reflection. The eternal boy is not built to sustain. He's built to spark, to ignite, but not to carry the fire forward. Why? Because to sustain is to face friction, to be known, to be challenged, to be seen in his flaws, not just his fantasies. And the eternal boy cannot stand that. Not because he's cruel, but because he is terrified. Terrified of being ordinary, of failing, of being held accountable. So what does he do? He sabotages. He forgets important dates, misses deadlines, avoids conversations. He starts a project and never finishes. He promises change, then vanishes. But each of these moments is wrapped in softness, excuses that almost sound like poetry. "I didn't mean to. I'm just lost right now. I need to find myself." And so, people forgive. Again and again. But the cycle doesn't break, because the eternal boy doesn't want change. He wants relief. And relief, to him, means escaping discomfort, escaping truth, escaping you when you ask for more. He says he wants love, and maybe he does, but not love that grounds, not love that grows roots and builds something real. He wants the fantasy, the honeymoon, the sparkle without the shadow. And when that illusion fades, he withdraws. And if you press too hard, he turns it around. Suddenly, you're too much, too demanding, too serious. He makes you question yourself. But it's not you. It's the fact that you mirror back to him what he refuses to face, his own incompleteness. You see, the eternal boy doesn't truly want to be free. He wants to be rescued. He wants the mother disguised as the lover, the partner who will carry his emotional weight so he never has to grow. But no one can carry that forever. Eventually, even the most patient hearts get tired. And that's the cost of the Puer Aeternus. Not just unfulfilled dreams, but broken relationships, burned bridges, and the slow corrosion of trust. What began in light ends in silence. But this isn't the end of the story. It's the midpoint. Because behind this pattern is something deeper, a hidden dependency, a psychic bond that explains why the eternal boy stays a boy. In the next chapter, we'll look at that bond, the archetype of the devouring mother, and how it shapes the boy into a man who never learns to stand. No eternal boy is born in isolation. Behind him, in nearly every case, stands a woman, sometimes loving, sometimes suffocating, who gave too much and demanded nothing in return. This is not about blame. This is about the invisible dynamic that holds him hostage. Carl Jung called her the Great Mother, and when her presence becomes excessive, she transforms into something dangerous, the Devouring Mother. She's not always a villain. Often, she's the most caring figure in his life. She's the one who cleaned up his messes, defended him, made excuses for him, loved him with a kind of totality that left no room to fail and no room to grow. Sometimes, she's a literal mother. Other times, she's a symbolic one, a partner who acts more like a caretaker than a lover, or a grandmother, an older sister, even a therapist who never holds him accountable. The common thread? She protects him from reality. She does things for him that he should do for himself. She shields him from consequence. She offers love with an invisible price tag. Never leave, never change, never grow up. And the boy obeys, because this relationship is comfortable, safe. It offers him the illusion of wholeness without requiring the pain of transformation. But the cost? His autonomy, his spine, his selfhood. He remains emotionally infantilized, dependent, always needing someone else to make life tolerable. He becomes a man externally, but internally, he's still waiting to be fed, to be saved, to be told what to do. And here's the hardest truth. He often doesn't even realize it. To him, this bond feels like love, like safety, like home. But what it really is a prison. The devouring mother doesn't want to hurt him, but unconsciously she needs him to stay small so that she feels needed. She may not say it out loud, but her energy whispers it constantly. Don't leave me. Don't grow. Don't forget who made you. So he never learns to face the world alone. He never develops the tools to regulate his emotions, build discipline, or endure failure. And when life inevitably asks him to do these things, he collapses. He flees, because he never learned how to suffer. He only learned how to be comforted. This is why relationships fail. This is why projects stall. This is why, no matter how much potential he has, he never quite arrives. He is still connected to the womb, not physically, but psychically. And to break free, he must do something unthinkable. He must leave the mother, not with hate, not with blame, but with a clean break that says, I must build myself now. And it's terrifying, because the boy believes that without her, he will fall apart, he will disappear. But the opposite is true. Only through that separation can the boy be reborn, this time as a man. Jung called this process individuation. It is the psychic birth of the true self, and like all births, it requires labor, pain, and blood. In the next chapter, we'll walk into that pain. We'll talk about collapse, awakening, and what it really means to finally, painfully, grow up. There comes a moment, a crack in the mirror, a shift in the light, a voice inside that whispers, this isn't working anymore. For the eternal boy, this moment feels like death. The death of possibility, the death of innocence, the death of the fantasy that life would somehow wait. It can come slowly, through the exhaustion of repeated failures, or suddenly, through a heartbreak, a breakdown, a moment of collapse. But when it comes, it brings no poetry, no magic, just silence, just pain. The dreams didn't work. The charm faded. The people left. And now, there's nowhere left to run. This is the turning point. Not everyone makes it past here. Some retreat into new fantasies, new escapes, new distractions. Others collapse into bitterness, blame, cynicism. But a few, just a few, choose something else. They choose to grow. And that choice is the beginning of everything. Not because it feels good, but because it is real. Because it finally accepts what the boy refused. That to live fully means to suffer, to be disappointed, to commit, to fail, to keep going anyway. This is the path of becoming a man. Not the hardened, armored stereotype, but a grounded, whole individual who carries his life with intention. And that journey starts with the most brutal task of all: taking responsibility. No more blaming the world. No more waiting for the perfect moment. No more hiding behind charm or crisis. Instead, you get up. You make a plan. You commit to something real, and you follow through. Even when you don't feel ready. Even when it's boring. Even when it hurts. That is maturity. Not a loss of spirit, but the channeling of it. Not the death of the boy, but the integration of him. The boy becomes your creative fire, your intuition, your vision. But he no longer drives the car. Now, the adult does. This shift doesn't happen in a day. It's slow, messy. You'll fall back into old patterns. You'll want to run. You'll want someone to save you. But each time you choose to stay, to face the thing, to make the call, to finish the task, you grow. And in time, that growth becomes your new gravity. You stop floating. You stop fleeing. You begin to build. A body that holds strength, a mind that holds focus, a heart that holds others without collapsing under their weight. This is not a betrayal of who you are. It is the fulfillment of it. Because real freedom does not come from escape. It comes from structure, from choice, from the quiet dignity of showing up every day for what matters. So if you're still here, if something in you has heard these words and stayed, then you're already on the path, and it's not too late, not even close. Because no matter how long you've been drifting, you can choose right now to land, to root, to grow. Jung once said, "We do not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." And you, by facing the shadow of the eternal boy, are doing just that. You are becoming conscious. You are becoming whole. So take the next step. Do the hard thing. Start the project. Have the conversation. Show up. Not because it's easy, but because it's time. Time to stop preparing to live. Time to actually live. Fully. Present. Accountable. Free. If you've made it this far, it means something inside you has stirred. A truth has been named. A mirror held up. Now, I want to hear from you. Which part of this journey hit you the hardest? Write it in the comments. Not for me, but for you. Because writing it down might just be your first step toward change. And if this message reminded you of someone, a brother, a friend, a partner, share it with them. Not as a judgment, but as a gift. A moment of truth can begin the journey of a lifetime. And if you want to go even deeper, the next video will uncover the other side of this transformation. How the shadow of the pure becomes the source of creative power when it's finally integrated. So don't stop here. Keep watching. Keep going. Because this time, you're not running away.